What's up, everyone? Travis here. We got another course that we are playing today with Michael and Eli. We're golfing with gang again, and today we're in Brampton at Turnberry Golf Club. So located in the heart of Brampton, Turnberry is a very interesting course. Designed by Doug Carrick, who also designed courses like Eagle Nest, The Nest, usually bird-themed courses. Literally, you won't get better conditions, better greens than one of these courses. But the interesting thing about it is, I don't know about the space, but every hole other than 2 holes is par 3s. So it's a par 56, and as I mentioned, the first and the final hole are the only par 4s in this course. Everything else are challenging and a wide variety of par 3s. And there's a variety of everything. There are well-placed bunkers, undulating greens, and water hazards that make it very challenging but yet playable for all levels. But as I was telling Michael and Eli, is that you're going to get the feel of a top-end course, but it's not going to be extremely hard, even though hitting par 3s are extremely hard, but everything will be in play and everything will be in front of you. So it might seem more attainable opposed to them playing par 5s where they struggle with distance. But regardless, we played it in October and the conditions were amazing. The greens were super fast, everything was beautifully green, and it was just a great outing. The total price was around $80 for 18 holes and a cart. And again, they have amazing practice facilities, great driving range, and great putting greens that you can practice. Even if you don't want to play a hole 18, you can go and use the practice facilities. But enough of me talking. Our goal was to be under +3 today. And we did all right. We just weren't capitalizing when we needed to. So enough of me talking. Let's jump into the course. And I hope you enjoy Turnberry Golf Club. All right, so the first hole, as I mentioned, one of only 2 par 4s playing 414 yards. Set between 2 heather-covered dunes, the fairway at the first rises up from the creek and an uphill approach shot to the green awaits. So you already know the boys came out. We really didn't warm up and we just had to try to get out there. Eli, no warm-up, he ends up losing his first one. Mike did get there early and he went to the range and it showed. He got us in the fairway and it allowed me to go for a big tee shot. And I did do that, but I ended up hooking it too much and I just was not able to find the ball. And we were a little late, so I went first and I hit a decent shot. We had a line behind us, so we just used that and we moved on. Now outside the green, my chip is decent. We're on the green, but we can definitely do better. Mike steps up and he tops his to the left. And Eli is able to get some solid contact, but it's just too much power and it runs way past the hole. Now we got about 12 feet to go. My line is decent, but I didn't want to roll it too far, so we left it a bit short. Eli did the same thing, and again, we hadn't felt the speed of the greens yet, so he just left it short as well. And Mike's line is off, but the speed is great, and it's the best attempt out of all of us, so we use that. We tap in for our opening hole bogey. The second hole is a par 3, and they're all par 3s, 143 yards. The hole is downhill, and the green has a creek on 2 of its sides. Eli's up first and he hits a great shot, but it just wasn't enough club and he ends up leaving it in the creek. Mike goes next. His practice swing was getting us all day, like just pump fakes all day, but he gets solid contact, but the line is off and it ends up in the shrubs. Now I'm up and I get a hold of it, but from the tee box, it looked so much closer than it actually was. So we have about 20 feet to go and my attempt was great, just needed a little bit more juice. Eli had a good line, but the speed was kind of off, and again, these greens were so fast, felt like it would never stop rolling. Mike was up last, and his attempt was just way off. So we use Eli's shot, and he ends up missing to the right of the hole, so I just head in and clean it up, and we finish off with our first par. This is a longer par 3 playing 178 yards. Obviously, you want to get it over the creek and into the fairway if you can't reach the green, but if you do, the green is guarded by a large bunker in the front of the right side. Eli was up first and he was hoping to get it over the creek, but it just wasn't enough and his went into the drink. Mike hit way behind the tee and he chunks his ball just down to the women's tees. And I had that pressure again to keep it in play and we did just that. It was a longer par 3, so we end up just short of the green. Now we gotta try and go up and down here to save par. My chip is fine, but the greens are so fast it ends up rolling to the back of the green. Eli's line is perfect. The speed is too much and it rolls right past and it just keeps going off the green. And finally, Mike doesn't catch this one clean and it just doesn't even make it to the green. Now we still got a lot of work to do here, maybe 15 feet, and it was slightly downhill. So I missed to the left and it feels like it rolls so much further than it actually did. Eli misses as well and his rolls out of frame too. Again, just super fast greens. And Mike does the same thing and we have to settle for another bogey, and the goal of 3 over is just not looking the best. The fourth is 103 yards and is right in front of the restaurant patio. It's short, but the green is also sloped, and most of the time you're hitting in front of an audience, so there's usually some jitters, maybe some oohs and ahs. So Mike steps up and he's been getting better. His 10,000 hour journey is right on track and his improvement's definitely there. My shot was great, pulled out the gap wedge, and we stuck it less than 10 feet away from the hole. Eli was off on his line and it was short as well to the left. So we have about an 8-footer to go and it looks pretty straightforward, and luckily we're able to sink that for a birdie. The next par 3 plays 146 yards and there's water down the right side of the hole. It's a tough hole because you want to avoid that water, but the green also has 2 bunkers to the left, so there's pretty much trouble everywhere. Eli's first and he's all over the place today, trying to swing smoother, but it wasn't working out for him and he ends up OB. Mike hits a low stinger and I really thought it was going to clear the water, but it just doesn't. If it was to the left, it would be perfect. And my shot was okay, it was off the line, but luckily we cleared the water and we kept one in play. So now we're chipping, having to get it over that little ridge there, trying to do that, but mine stays up and it doesn't go down. So Eli putts his and we needed to go maybe 2 feet more and it would have been perfect, I think. And Mike wanted to chip as well, but he left his face open, so his went the wrong way. So we have about 12 feet to go, and these attempts weren't great, but we ended up all missing, and we have to settle for a bogey after the birdie. Hole number 6 is alongside Beauvert, and you really wouldn't even know that because the hills just make you feel like you're somewhere else. Playing 129 yards, but it's pretty straightforward. Mike keeps his driver out, and at least he's getting contact now. The driving warm-up session really helped him out because he just has to work on his alignment now. My shot was great. I thought it was on the green, but I guess it ended up rolling off the back, unfortunately. And Eli continued that baseball type of swing, and he ends up hitting his ball into a Honda Civic on Beauvert. So we're left with a really tough downhill putt from the fringe of the green, and this is just not in our pay grade. We're all over the place and we still have a decent putt left for par. Unfortunately, the camera is out of focus, but Eli misses his attempt, and luckily I'm able to roll it in for par. Hole 7 is the shortest of the course, but definitely tricky. Playing 86 yards, but the front is massively sloped, so you really got to be accurate here. So Mike pulls out his driver, but I really thought he should have used his iron on this one, and he ends up whiffing it. My shot was fine, but I hit it a bit thin and we just stayed up on the green and didn't roll down the slope. But Eli steps up and he hits a low stinger and it hits the ridge nicely, and it's inside mine, so we end up using his tee shot. So we have a long birdie putt coming up. It has to go over the ridge and the speed is hard to judge on this one. Eli has a lot of steam on his and it rolls past the hole. So I didn't want to do the same thing, so I left mine much shorter. And Mike crushes his and went way past the hole as well. So we have about 5 feet to go, but the slope made it really difficult to read. I missed mine to the left. Eli gives it a good attempt, but it just had too much speed and lips out. And Mike's speed was perfect, but the line was just off and we have to settle for another bogey. The 8th hole plays 134 yards downhill and you're back on that shared green with the 2nd. This green is tricky because it slopes super hard down to the left, so putting speed is so important. Mike hits his best drive of the day just a few holes late as he crushes it onto the other fairway. My shot started out nice, but I ended up pulling too much and I ended up missing the green to the left. And Eli chunks his. Like, we really got to figure out his grip or something. So now we're chipping and it's on a slope, so I didn't fully get a hold of mine and I leave mine short. Eli then pulls out his putter and he gets it good. It just, the rough is really thick, so it slows down too much and it can't get onto the green. And Mike tries his wedge again and he takes his eye off the ball and whiffs it. So we still have so much work to do here. Severely downhill and we all end up rolling it past the hole. Now we're fighting to get bogey here. I miss, Mike misses, and luckily Eli is able to knock it in to minimize our damage. Now the 9th is a longer par 3 playing 161 yards. There's a water hazard off the tee box, but if you can get past that, you have a good opportunity to put it on the green because the green is massive. Again, Mike pulls out his driver and he catches it. Now it doesn't go into the water and it's to the right of the green, but again, solid shot. My shot, I'm super out of focus and I just missed the green to the right, but it's solid. And Eli's even more out of focus, but you can see his swing is all over the place and he hits it into the water. So we're all putting here and we're just trying to get it somewhat close, and honestly, we don't do the best job at that. So we're left with another 8 feet to go and Eli's attempt just misses to the left. My attempt was even worse. I missed about a foot to the right, which is disgusting. And Mike was just off a tad with his speed and it ends up just missing, so he taps it in for another bogey. And finally, the 10th plays around 115 yards and is very straightforward. No water, but there are a few bunkers, so you can really try and get one back here. This was the final hole that we recorded, and as you can see, Mike hits a whiff here, but was one of the rare ones for the day for him. My shot was fine, but it wasn't the best, so I was hoping Eli would step up here, and he did just that. We thought it was on the green, but it must have just rolled off or whatever, it just missed to the left. Now he steps up first trying to sink a birdie putt, and his attempt is great. So now Michael and I can both try and get one back here, but my attempt was absolute nonsense and Mike was better than mine, but again, Eli was still the best. So he steps up and he knocks it down for his own par. So as you can see, guys, we only did 10 holes. Usually there's not an option to do 9 holes at Turnberry. You either do 18 or 12 because the 12th hole kind of circles back closer to the clubhouse. So it's either 18 or 12. But overall, the conditions were amazing. I just stopped recording because it was getting kind of dark and the camera started losing a little bit of focus. So I just said I'd put it away because, again, it's all par 3, so you pretty much get the gist of it. But yeah, as a team, I think we're getting better. Again, par 3s are pretty hard to play because there's not much room for error. But regardless, I think we played decent. Definitely needed to hit some putts when we needed to, but it is what it is. We're getting better as a team, and we really enjoyed our time at Turnberry. It was great vibes. It was a twilight round, and it was amazing. These guys haven't played a really nice course yet, and I could definitely say that Turnberry is a really nice, well-maintained course, and it's beautiful. The only issue I have with it is just a lack of variety. Again, I wish it was a 9-hole and they did a traditional 2 par 5s, 2 par 3s, the rest par 4s, par 36. But it is what it is. I understand they want to keep it an 18, but I love Turnberry. I don't think it's overpriced at all, even though it's only par 3s. You're getting high grade, high quality stuff. I just wish they included the cart in the price, you know. But yeah, Turnberry was great. Marie and I had our wedding reception there, so I love that place. And again, I love seeing Michael and Eli getting more into golf, and they're enjoying it more and more. And again, we're trying to get out one more time before the year ends. So hopefully we can do that. Drop some comments down below if you have some courses that you think that we should check out. Again, the year's almost done, but we're gonna keep trying to make videos throughout the winter, going to simulators and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you stick around for that. Hit the subscribe button for more golf stuff around the GTA, and yeah, quit gatekeeping, man. We're out here. Thank you guys.